What is behind the success of top real estate agents and mortgage lenders? What tactics, strategies, and lessons learned have they used to break through and achieve elite status? Top performing real estate and mortgage lenders from across the country answer these questions and so much more right here on Real Talk with Homes for Heroes. So get ready because we are about to get real. Now, here is your host of Real Talk with Homes for Heroes National Director, Abby Waltz.
Hey there, and thank you so much for tuning into episode 63 of Real Talk with Homes for Heroes. For those of you that are new to this community, thank you for joining us. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you'll be alerted each week when we post a new show. On this week's episode, I had a very candid and very real conversation with one of our top 20 mortgage specialists in the country out of Gainesville, Virginia, Joanne Hilliard. Joanne is not about competing with the biggest out there, nor is she about doing the most transactions. For her, success means focusing on quality, not necessarily quantity. Building the business that you want to build, that supports the lifestyle and work-life balance that you want to live. It's not about the competition or measuring up to the top producers. It's about you and your dreams. Joanne is able to accomplish hers and fulfill her goals by building strong, quality relationships with her clients, delivering an exceptional personal experience for each one of them, and also building her pipeline through meaningful relationships she's created with agents. And believe it or not, it is working like a charm as she has more business coming in than she can handle. On this show, Joanne and I discuss how being authentic, actually knowing what you want, and working towards that can create a significant and a fulfilled life for yourself. How focusing on going deep instead of going wide can fuel a referral pipeline that will sustain your business for years. And she shares some great tips that will help you build rapport quickly and create a deeper relationships with your clients, like finding a common element in your conversations up front or adding them to your personal Facebook profile instead of just your business page. This conversation is all about being genuine and authentic, focusing on deeper relationships and building the dream life that you want, both professionally and personally. Are you ready? Because we're about to get real with Joanne Hilliard.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us on Real Talk with Homes for Heroes, where each week I am joined by a top producing real estate agent or mortgage professional from across the country willing to share the secrets behind their success. First of all, for those of you that are joining our live virtual audience, thank you for being patient. We had some technical difficulties, as we all do in this day and age, with getting this up and running. We were just a couple minutes late, so I appreciate your patience and I appreciate you being here, part of our conversation today. I am so excited. I'm going to introduce my guest in just a quick minute. Joanne and I have known each other for a very long time, so I know how she does her business, and it's a very unique way. But as anybody that saw my Facebook Live has heard, it's going to be all about growing your business the way that you want to, building it the way that you want to build it, and kind of living a life that you want to build and create. So for those of you joining us live, again, thank you so much. Down below in your Zoom panel, there are a couple different sections. There is chat, which you can use for sharing the love. If Joanne shares a great takeaway that you really like, or you hear a quote that really resonates with you, share that in the chat with everybody so that people can see that. Just make sure that you're sharing it to all people, not just all panelists, okay? There's also a Q&A section. We will have a Q&A at the very end of this show where we'll ask our guest, Joanne here, all of your questions that you have. So feel free to type those in. We do monitor that throughout the entire show and even bring in some questions during our discussions too when they're relevant. So let there be no further ado. We've got Joanne Hilliard with us, who is a mortgage specialist with Homes for Heroes. I've known Joanne for, I think, 8.5 years. I know you've been a specialist with us for over 7, which is just mind-boggling to me. But Joanne's part of our top 2% in the country as mortgage specialist. She serves as a member on our affiliate advisory council, which only has 8 members. So she is top echelon for us for sure. So Joanne, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Abby. I can't believe it's been that long. It's crazy.
I know, isn't it? I still remember going out to Virginia to see your crew and your team and everything long ago for sure. But let's go ahead and dive in here. As you said, let's get real, right? Because technology issues, we are getting real here. Paint the picture for me a little bit. Let's walk back to the beginning because you've been in the mortgage business for quite some time now. Tell me a little bit about your history, how you got into the business, and what your business looked like when you first started.
Sure. Yeah, I guess I need to go back 10 years. I had just gotten married. I was not in the mortgage business at the time. I have been in banking since 1999, but held various roles. I was in sales. I was a sales manager. I was in operations. I even did a little bit of quality control and audit work with the banks. So quite the history in banking. But in 2010, I got married. And at that time, I had a job that was probably an hour and a half commute both ways. And I was in a situation where I was working a ton of hours. I was a regional operations manager. I had the responsibility of the operations for 96 local bank branches. So I had really super long hours and, working 11, 12 hours a day and then having a 3-hour commute on top of that just wasn't the quality of life that I wanted. I was newly married and my husband was probably not too amused with me. So I needed to make a change in my life and started in the mortgage business. And I guess maybe it was just a couple years after that, then I started with Homes for Heroes. But obviously it was very quiet beginnings, I guess, because I was getting my mortgage business up and running and then adding in Homes for Heroes. And I think when I first started with Homes for Heroes, I think I just tried to manage all the hero groups, like try to tackle everything at one time. And I don't think that was necessarily the right approach looking back.
We hear that from so many, both real estate and mortgage professionals, that it's a huge shotgun approach, right? Like, I want everybody to be my client. So that's not atypical coming into the business for sure. So how, throughout the years, what do you think has helped you kind of grow? How have you grown to what you've become today?
Well, I think, as part of the Homes for Heroes program, I would get out and do events and partner with realtors and things like that. So I was getting into the firehouses and the police departments and things like that. I would say my top 3 hero groups are law enforcement, firefighters, and military. So I really tried to kind of, as I got my business going, just kind of hone in on those 3 areas. Of course, I had other heroes as well. But those just were the ones that I kind of gravitated towards. But over time you develop processes and just different ways of doing things, just kind of honing my craft and always really being authentic about how I approach my business and really with a special genuineness. I guess I was just never, and I don't want to say fake, but like I really had a genuine admiration for heroes because they've done so much for us and do every day. It's just like this deep admiration, and I felt honored to give back to them.
Yeah, very cool. So you partner with us pretty early on. Do you feel like specializing has helped you, or do you feel like just having more of a purpose behind your profession has really helped you kind of hone in on your business and grow?
I think, having the Homes for Heroes program earlier on in my career helped me to develop realtor relationships that I may not necessarily have had. So that was certainly a plus. It kind of just helped to propel my business into a specialty. But then once I was kind of specialized with Homes for Heroes, I was able to branch out and obviously help other clients as well.
Yeah, let's take that a little bit deeper with, especially not just in specializing, but you just mentioned that it helped you partner with agents, right? It gave you an in with some new people. So what do you, especially today, now that you've gone through being brand new and learning stuff over the last decade, how do I phrase this? From a partnership perspective, how has that helped you, and what kind of stuff do you have fueling your pipeline of clients now?
Well, I think, partnering with new agents through Homes for Heroes and obviously helped me get connected with agents that I didn't know already. And anytime agents see what you can do in terms of closing loans and how you treat their clients, that just fuels additional business. And it's about taking advantage of those transactions that you do have. So say, for example, each transaction, you've got a buyer's agent, you've got a listing agent, and the buyer's agent is obviously someone you're working with, but the listing agent is not. So, but they could be. So, what I tried to do was really, kind of develop an in with the listing agent as well. As soon as I would get the ratified contract, I would place a call to the agent, or even when the offer is made, I would call and advocate for the client. And just throughout the process, I've been very consistent with my communication in terms of the loan process. So listing agents are always hearing from me, knowing where the loan is in its process. So that's real important to me, that nobody's left in the dark in the transaction, because it's really simple to forget about the listing agent. It's ratified. They never hear from the loan officer for decades until the loan closes. So it was really important for me to keep those lines of communication open with both agents. And that's helped me be able to pick up agents on the listing side as well and develop relationships there.
Yeah, I love that idea, because it can be applied to so many different areas in business for sure, right? Reaching out to the party that's not necessarily working with you, that's a huge opportunity to keep them in the loop, to keep everybody in the loop and the transaction moving forward super smoothly. But I feel like loan officers tend to forget that opportunity sometimes. It is nice to have somebody reach out to you and just keep you up to speed and really grow and build that relationship. And agents can do that as well, or broker owners can do that with the agent that's on the other side of things, and just complimenting them and how they handle the transaction and building and growing that relationship, which is what I want to dive into next with you. Because in speaking with you earlier, we really got into kind of your business. I don't even want to call it your business philosophy, because I know you live this and breathe this in your personal life too. So talk to me about your approach to business, kind of where your personal goals and how you started growing your business, and what that philosophy was that you built your business on.
Sure. I know this is maybe not going to make sense to some people, but this is real talk, and this is my reel, so I'm sharing. I think, it's easy to, I guess, see other people in the industry knocking it out of the park and closing, 500 transactions a year and doing all that. And that's fantastic. I'm super happy for those people, but I maybe am not one of those people. I tend to want to focus on maybe quality more than quantity. Obviously money drives a lot of people, but there's a lot of other things in the transaction that I guess fuel a sense of satisfaction for me. So much of my concentration is around the relationships, realtors, yes, but around the borrower too. I like to develop those relationships, and they're relationships that continue long after the transaction is over. I friend these folks on Facebook. They're on my personal page. They get to see the life that I live. I get to see, different milestones in their life. They're having children. They're, sending the kids to school. I get to see all those fun things. And it just makes it a real relationship, because they know about me on a personal basis. I know about them. And that keeps people coming back again and again for business, because they feel like they know me.
Yeah, I want to drive this home, because you had a few golden nuggets just within that small paragraph that you just shared. But so let's take this a little bit deeper. You've built it on relationships, right? You're not necessarily that people who are really big lack the quality by any means. That's not what we're saying here, but you really wanted to go a bit deeper into the relationships that you do get to touch the lives of so that you know them on a deeper level for sure, and build your referral base off of that. And some of the ways that you're doing that with, especially your clients for sure, because you just shared one way that you do it with agents from reaching out to the listing agent. But with your clients, what are you doing to dive a little bit deeper? You shared that you invite them to like your personal page, not your business profile, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Always my personal page. And just even throughout the transaction, I think, I open myself up probably maybe to maybe too much availability. I would say at times, I probably don't have a lot of boundaries set with that, but when my clients work with me, they know that they're going to have access to me a lot of the time. So a lot of these folks are first-time home buyers, not all of them, but I have a good group of first-time home buyers that I work with, and they have questions and I'm there for them. So they have access to text me pretty much any time of the day, calls, email. They can always get a hold of me. And I think that just really helps to solidify and build that trust. When you're available and can answer their questions and kind of ease their mind, even if it's at 8:45 in the evening. I know it's late, but it doesn't take a lot of time for me to just, pop back a text about something, because these people, they're worried. It's a big transaction. It's the biggest purchase they're going to make in their lifetime. So just being there to kind of nurture these folks along, that's like super special to me. And that's kind of the crux of my business is I want to make people feel like they matter at the end of the day. And that's really fulfilling for me. And it's fulfilling if you have a ton of clients, but I just think having a smaller number of clients and being able to really service them the way that I want is fulfilling to me, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I love that your goal is not, again, to have the quantity. It is to have that quality and the deeper relationship, because you do lose a little bit of that touch when you run a team and you have agents working for you, or you have other loan officers or originators working for you that are handling it along the way. You are a one-stop shop, full service.
It's me, just me. So that's it. I don't have a team. I'm just one loan officer. I do have a production partner who works on a little bit of chasing the paper and things like that. When the loan is disclosed, then she gets involved, but nobody up front. It's just me, myself, and I. So that's it. No team here. Not yet.
I think that's great. And hey, you can build in extra admin support for sure to help you support the deals that you're doing. But I love that you go deeper with your clients. Absolutely. Are there a couple other things, like say I was a client of yours, right? What would be my experience working with you?
Well, I would say, it's a personal experience for me. I like to know about my clients. I like to find something that is some common ground, some commonality that I can share with them. Sometimes it's just, I'll get a hero lead from the website and the area code is one that I recognize from, a family member lives in Ohio or something. That's just an instant connection. Say, oh, your area code 330. Oh, well, my aunt lives in, the Cleveland area. Are you from, it's just starting those conversations, just finding those little details that you can kind of drive home a little bit more. And once they have a connection with you on that level, it sounds silly, but I don't know, they just trust you.
Dude, that's rapport building 101. Find that common connection and lead with it, and then start asking more questions, because yes, it does definitely break down those barriers for sure. So let's see here. What are some other things that you do for your clients? I know you kind of have extended hours, right? You're always available for them, especially for our hero clients that have off the wall hours and whatnot. What are some of the other things that you do that you feel are special touches or that help you be better for your clients and deliver a better experience for them?
I think we talked about communication before, and that's the lines of communication are definitely open for me. At the end of the day, I want my borrowers to have a fantastic experience, because nothing is more satisfying to me than getting that review at the end of the transaction and to listen to their sweet words about how they just really thoroughly enjoyed the transaction. They, they felt very comfortable. Like, that's what matters to me, is their comfort level, to make sure that they're, that it was a home run. I mean, that's really what I want. So obviously the communication, text, email. After the loan closes, I send everybody, I put them on my mailing list for my magazine, and it's By Design Publishing. I don't know if you can see this or not, but it's a 52-page magazine, believe it or not. It has wonderful, wonderful pictures. There's recipes in here. There's home tips, like how to decorate your house. There's just all kinds of things, gardening things. It's just really a fantastic publication. I love it. So everybody that closes a loan, then I put them on my list, and they'll have a magazine. It's delivered 6 times a year, so every other month. I'm not the kind of person that wants to be in everybody's face all the time. That's totally not me. Like, hey, give me a referral. I'm just not, that's not my personality. So I think that that's just enough touch, whereas I'm in their face, but not really in their face, because 6 times a year, it's a delicate touch. It's something of value. I have had clients that have texted me and said, you know what? I tear out all the pages of the recipes because I love them so much. So, but I mean, and everybody uses it differently. Hopefully nobody throws it in the trash, but it's just a piece of value, item of value that I can extend to them. And I think people really like it. And I can tell sometimes when people get it, because they'll give me a call, they have a question. It's just a piece to be top of mind in their life.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, which you just already answered. But with you really focusing on going deep with people, follow-up is obviously always key, but you feel like the touch every other month is enough to keep you top of mind because you've already established that strong relationship?
Well, there's some emails that go out from my database that are kind of just general things, maybe household things, gardening things, when we're falling back, when we're springing ahead with the time. So there's some happy birthday emails, those go out. So I think a combination of the email drip campaign and then the magazine is kind of enough. Plus I'm friends with them on Facebook, and they kind of see my face. I try to post daily quotes, so hopefully I'm popping up on most people's page on a pretty regular basis.
Yeah, I mean, if you're being interactive with them, right? Because that's what you want to be. You want to get to know them. You want to see their major life events. You're probably commenting on them. I'm sure that works very, very well for you from a Facebook perspective, especially to connect with them and to stay top of mind too. I love that it's not like inundating with people, because so many people are like, oh, they get a weekly email from me, and then they get a quarterly mailer, and then they get and I'm like, holy smokes, man.
I don't want to annoy people. That's the thing. I just think of myself, like, if somebody was really sending me an email all the time and just all this stuff, I personally don't want it, so I wouldn't subject somebody else to that either.
Yeah. So we've got a quarterly mailer, which for those of you that didn't see what Joanne held up, if you're listening in on the podcast, it is a beautiful, full color, serious, professionally done publication. So do you do that through a service at all?
It's By Design Publishing, and I can send you the information after the call. But you can there's this magazine, and then I think there's one that's maybe 20 pages long. There's a recipe card you can do, they do a calendar. So you can kind of just be creative of what you want to, what you want to send out to folks.
I love that you're staying top of mind that way, and that it's getting engagement, because that's really the key to doing the follow-up marketing afterwards. So I think that's wonderful. I know we had talked about, you just touched on Facebook, so let's dive into there. Facebook really works for you, and I think one of the main reasons is, yes, you're connecting with them on your personal page. It's not just all about business. It is about life and whatnot, which is wonderful. Hi, Emma. We've got a cute little poodle joining us on the show.
Here's my dog. She just didn't want to be in her own room, so she has to be here.
It's real talk. She is a
Real talk.
full-on part of your life. I know this.
Yes.
Anybody that's on your Facebook profile also knows this too.
Yes, for sure.
But what else are you doing that's working for you that you feel well on Facebook specifically?
So, pre-COVID times, I'm actually, I was always posting my settlements. So I'm the kind of person that wants to attend my settlement, because a lot of times that is when I meet my clients for the first time, because this is such a congested area with traffic. Everybody, pre-COVID, everybody's got a crazy commute. It's very unlikely that I meet my clients, during the loan application process and the pre-approval. So that's my time to celebrate with them. And it's super fun. And that's really, it is super fun for me. I just love it, because I get to give my hugs and handshakes, and I can look them straight in the eye and say, thank you for what you do every day. And to me, that's important. So I always would post my pictures of my settlements on Facebook. I also have surveys that go out after settlement. It's through Social Survey. So those automatically get posted to Facebook. So I do share those. They're posted to my business page, and then I share them to my personal page. But it's just another piece that people out there in Facebook land can see, okay, so here's exactly, a testimonial from the client of how it's like to deal with Joanne, and I've had people I've gone to high school with that don't even live in this area send me a personal message after they see just the surveys. They see the, the big dry erase check that we've given, $3,500 back to a hero, and just the whole hoopla about it on Facebook. And they send me a private message saying, you know what, it is so great to see that you love what you're doing and that you're giving back. And I'm like, it's just nice. It's just that feel good moment. And I think it's all about an experience with me. So it's a transaction, yes, but it's an experience more importantly.
Yeah, and one that's very important to both you and to the client for sure, with that big of a purchase for sure. So, and I know who was it that just popped on? Joey Johnson just asked a question. We might not have shared where you're at. You're in the Gainesville, Virginia, just outside of DC?
Gainesville, Virginia. Yep.
Yeah. So commute times are atrocious. This is why she can't meet her clients in the beginning, or doesn't. More often.
Well, everything is so electronic these days, and I think, and there's a small group of clients that still really want to meet with me, and that's fine. I'm definitely open to that, but I work with a ton of millennials, and all they really want is like a text. They want email. Some of them don't even like to talk on the phone. So you just kind of have to tailor what you're doing to your audience. So
definitely, for sure. You do something else too a couple weeks after settlement, don't you?
A couple weeks after settlement, I do send my magazine, but that doesn't usually, once they're on the rotation, it probably doesn't go out until a couple of months after.
Okay. And are you reaching out to them at any point personally besides the magazine and the emails that you send out?
I actually will, usually a few weeks after I know that they're in the house, I will, shoot them a text or send them an email. I just want to know how they're enjoying the house. Did they get moved in? Did they get settled in? I have people, there goes the dog. Real time. So, I have people, texting me a picture, they got a new puppy, because I genuinely want to know, like, how are you doing? Like, how's the house? Are you settled in? What's happening? So, yeah, people appreciate that, because it's not just, hey, this lady closed my loan. This is the end of it. I do care, so that's why I like to follow up.
Yeah, I think that too is a very special touch, especially from a mortgage specialist like you. A lot of times we'll hear from the agent, right, after the call. We don't necessarily hear from our mortgage specialist or our loan officer at all. And I can tell you right now, I'm like really good friends with my loan officer that I finally fell in love with, right? Through moving so much. And to have that experience and to have them be able to text you randomly or to just, be in their lives with one another, I think that's something really, really special and something that has probably set you up. I mean, tell me, what does your incoming clients look like? Is it a lot of referrals? Is it a lot of repeats? Is it a lot of new leads? What does that look like for you?
It's a lot of referrals. I mean, people have a good experience and they talk to somebody in their office and they say, you know what, I used Joanne, you've got to call her. I've had a lot of that this year. People just, they have neighbors that are moving, they have colleagues that are moving, that are just starting the process. And what better time than you just finished up with a transaction for that person to turn to the next cube pre-COVID and say, hey, you've really got to call Joanne. You have to use her, just because they've been so satisfied with the service.
Yeah. So beyond growing and building really strong relationships and going deep with your clients, how else do you feel like you're bringing in business at this point?
I do keep in contact with my real estate agents, and sometimes it's, much of the same with them. You see something, a funny meme or something, and you text it to them, something about the real estate industry, or, just something you found on Facebook and you just copy and paste it into a text. Or, and I know my agents pretty well too. So, just touching base with them via phone, via text. Obviously you have pipelines and things to review with them, but, just taking it to, a little bit more of a personal level too. I try to have that same personal experience with all my referral partners, borrowers and realtors alike.
Yeah, super smart. Do you feel like there was one thing that really helped you, I don't want to say kickstart your career, but really helped you kind of just shoot off and increase your business amount?
I've just always remained true to myself and my vision for my business, which, like we said on the onset of the call, maybe it's not everybody's vision. Some people do want to close, 400 loans a year. There are people that thrive on that. For me, I just want to provide exemplary service, and have super satisfied clients and agents. Like, that is my sheer goal. And I think as people, if we can just hone in on what is our truth, then we are going to be successful. So whatever that is for anybody out there, if you just kind of follow your own truth and don't veer too much from it, then I think you'd be successful.
Yeah, definitely.
The book, The Secret, is huge. I love that book.
Can you read my bookcase?
Is it over there?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I'm all about that book. Ask, believe, receive. What you focus on becomes what you think you become. It's huge. I have the book. I have the CDs. Sometimes I'll just play the CDs day after day after day, because if you just keep listening to it, it's just going to soak in and become part of your daily life. Yeah,
definitely. I know you just mentioned a couple, but big takeaways from that book that you've really implemented into your life?
Yeah, I think that, what we focus on, we become. Like, if you are the type of person that is always focused on negativity, then that's what you're going to bring more of that into your life. If you focus on the positive things, more positive things are going to happen. And just kind of asking for things and focusing on the right things. If you want more hero clients, focus on that. And just, I think in the book, it's about being genuine too. It's not just this fake facade. It's about being genuine. I love that book. Love it.
Definitely.
I recommend it for anybody.
Yeah. She's got a few of them. It's Rhonda Bryan's, isn't it?
Yep.
I think that's her name. She's got that one. She's got the magic. I know she's got the hero. There are quite a few, but the secrets is what it started with. And I think it's such a good concept. And I think it's really important too, especially in an industry where the sky is the limit for how much you can earn, right? And like you said in the beginning, that can drive a lot of people who are motivated by money to get into this business. But if you don't know who you are or where you want to go personally, if you don't know yourself authentically, then you're kind of just living a fake life. You find fulfillment and significance from just chasing the dollar at the end of the day.
And who really wants to live a life with no purpose? I mean, but I think, that's what the Homes for Heroes program does for a lot of people is gives them purpose, I mean, what better way is to, give back and thank heroes? Like, I can't think of a better way to spend my time, helping people with, a transaction that's tough and they're a first time home buyer and they need some help. They need some guidance. And I love to provide that for them. It's just because I don't know. It just is part of me. I feel like a coach at heart, I guess, like a mentor at heart. And I just get a lot of fulfillment about answering. It could be the easiest questions. I don't care. But just knowing that I'm helping guide them through the process is priceless for me.
Yeah, that's great. So what percentage of your business right now is heroes and what's other consumers?
I would say probably 60% heroes, 40% non.
Okay. That's a good chunk for sure. Wow.
Yeah.
What are you doing proactively to build new relationships with heroes? Or is there something that you did in the beginning that has helped you build a relationship, and what are you doing to maintain it?
So several years ago, I had the opportunity there was a gal that I work with. Her husband was a firefighter, and I was actually able to get an introduction to the union president. So I met with him at first, and then I shared the Homes for Heroes program with him, and then he invited me to come back to present to the board about the program. So I did that, and then ever since, I really had a pretty good relationship with this county, the fire department. And they actually invited me to do a workshop called Investing in Your Future workshop. So this was a workshop for firefighters and EMT. Basically, it was all about, covering the gamut of like the insurance that they should have, making sure they have a will, just, topics of value to make sure that they have all their retirement in order, that kind of thing. So I was there from a lending perspective to present this program as a benefit to the department. So that was held every other year. So I participated in that, had a table set up, and then I did, sessions throughout the day where firefighters would just join and could ask questions. And I just presented a little bit about the program. And I've always fostered that relationship, and I get a lot of business out of that county, even to this day. I actually have an app on my phone that has their shift calendar on there. So I always know, A, B, and C shift. If I'm working with a firefighter, they're on B shift, and I know they just worked. Obviously the next morning they're getting off at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. I don't want to interrupt them. And that's a way to really connect with heroes too, at least these firefighters that I work with, because I know the lingo. I know the A, B, and C shift. I can connect with them. I know, their 4 days off, are you on your 4-day break? So when you get to know the lingo, it's just, they trust you because they know you work with a lot of firefighters. So that has been huge. I've done ongoing client appreciation events where that's joint with a realtor, and we have like a crab fest in the fall. It's not.
Oh, when is this and where? Crab fest sounds delightful.
Yeah. Yeah. We used to have it at a public place, but now we have it in his yard. We kind of set up tables, and, it's a nice time. He does a moon bounce and things like that. And, you have a chance to connect and, play some cornhole, with your past clients. So that's a nice thing to do as well. So I just kind of sponsor part of that event. He does part and I do part. Yeah. So, it's just, it's in the little things, but the thing with the county, with the firefighters, that's something I started years ago, and I continue to foster that today.
Yeah. I think that's so important too, how just participating in one event, just one, and consistently doing it, and then building that relationship with that one individual who put you in front of it, can really expound and snowball your business from the very beginning? Because would you have expected that going into that presentation that day? I remember this one. Was this one in the sunken room with the big, huge screen, the presentation that you were doing?
No, actually, I didn't even have a computer for this. I did not. Yeah, I don't think I even had a computer for this. But actually, I do remember. This is crazy, but when you meet with the union board, like they have a union printer that they use. I had to go and print my information on special union paper. It was pretty crazy. Like I went all out. If you're telling me this was what needs to be done, then this is what I was going to do. So, yeah, it's a great relationship. And, you know, I continue to stop by, you know, pop by with, you know, cupcakes or pizza, you know, obviously pre-COVID, but, yeah, I continue to do visits, you know, with clients who I've helped. Maybe I've closed a loan and so is at a specific fire station. I'll just text them and say, hey, can I bring by some breakfast burritos or some pizza or some lunch or something? That way you already have an in, so then you can get in front of the rest of the firefighters. Just do a small presentation. It doesn't take 30 minutes to talk about Homes for Heroes. It takes 5 minutes, 10 minutes. These people don't have a lot of time anyway, but you sit down and you share a slice of pizza with them, and you get up in front of them and talk for 5 minutes about a benefit that's available to them that they didn't even know about. It's not a sales pitch at all. It's not. I present myself, here's a benefit that you qualify for. You know, you can take advantage of it today, next month, next year, whenever you need it, it's here for you. It's powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. To not pitch or sell anything, but to present them as a guide or as a coach, like you said earlier, with a great benefit available to them. That's absolutely the way to do it. And I love that you work with your clients and ask them for the opportunity to come in. Like, when's that going to work for you? Because then you've got a testimonial, like literally standing right next to you. Like, no, this is legit. They can answer questions. They just went through the process.
Exactly. I mean, it's the best way, because if you go in cold, nobody knows you, you know, they obviously trust, you know, their colleague. And these kind of places, you know, the law enforcement, the firefighters, military, they're very loyal. So if someone at the fire station has used so-and-so and they had a great experience, that is going to spread and you get additional business just because you provided great service. It's real. It happens.
Yeah. And I think the other underlying tone here is also to know your audience for sure. You know your firefighters so well, especially with that app that you talked about. You know their shift schedules, you know what they say. But I think that's applied for anything. And what makes you so good at what you do? I mean, right now we're only talking about 3 hero groups, right? Law enforcement, firefighter, and military that you really focus on and work. And that's enough to support your business. That's plenty to support your business for sure. But I think it's because you specialize and you know how to talk their language. And that could be for any industry. Every single industry has their own verbiage and lingo. And I mean, being previously in the military community, it is a new language that you have to learn.
Absolutely. You know, when you're working with the military, if someone's PCSing here from California, I mean, if you're just using the lingo and it just is natural to you, I mean, you know, that they just trust you because you know what their language is per se.
Yeah, they know you get it.
Yep, it's just a way to build trust.
Yeah. So hone in on your target audience and make sure you're using their lingo in your conversations with them, because not only is Joanne finding immediately a place to connect with them on a deeper level, she's now speaking their language too, which I know, Joanne, that comes so naturally to you, but that is so foreign to some people.
I love it. I'm just one of them. Like I'm, you know, obviously I'm not, because I do not make near the sacrifice they do on a daily basis, but you know, it's fun. I mean, when you start digging into it and you really get in, it's just fun. I don't know. I find it fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We've gotten a lot of comments, and I've actually, Joey, thank you so much. And Drake, I saw yours earlier. I've been kind of inserting some of the questions that we've been getting so far. So if you have any additional questions, feel free to keep typing those in. We'll either insert them to the conversation if I can, or we'll save those for the end for sure. So you do a lot of, I don't want to call them events because they're not necessarily events. You'll do a couple of events a year, and then you'll follow up later on to build rapport and relationships just through your clients by going in and doing what you call pop buys, which is just bringing something by and explaining the program, right?
Yes. So the firefighter event that I do, that's an every other year type of thing. But then sprinkled throughout the year, then I'll do the pop buys, some lunch, some breakfast, some, cupcakes, something like that.
Definitely. Okay. Perfect. All right. I think is there anything else that you'd like to share? Any tidbits or things of wisdom that you've learned over the years, or?
I think one quote that really sticks out in my brain is, people don't care about what you know until they know how much you care. And that's it for me. That's like mic drop, done, like it really is, because if people don't know how much you care, then they don't even care what you know. They don't even care. It's that moment that someone feels connected to you, or you feel you feel that connection. It's really hard to break that. And just even to take it a step further, obviously in an environment where there's, competitive rates and things like that, when you establish that kind of bond with somebody, do you think that they're going to go and, compare 6 other banks and what their interest rates are? Not really, because you're providing something of such value that they don't even want to entertain going to ask somebody else, what their interest rate is. So, I think it just has a lot of benefits.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And clearly you're proving that through what you're building and growing and doing year after year. Hey, has COVID changed how you're doing business right now?
Not really, because like I said, in this environment, where I am in the country, the traffic is so bad on a regular basis. Before COVID, I wasn't really meeting with my clients a lot then. Our office is closed, so everything is being done remote. And it's interesting because we have so much business this year, as a branch, that it's interesting that everybody's doing it all from home. So I think, some of the pop buys and things I'm not doing right now, but I'm sure that will pick up later. I'm just being respectful of everybody's space and what they're comfortable with. So I'm sure we'll get back to a point. And obviously I'm not attending my settlements, which is a bummer. I will be attending one next week. I'm just going to put my mask on and get in there, but the realtor can't make it. He's out of town. So I said I would certainly go. And a lot of the title companies around here, they actually don't want the agents and the lenders to be there. They just want the people signing the paperwork. So it's just a matter of like respecting what these title companies want to do. So, we'll get through this time. I think we're resilient people. So we will make the best of it and come out on the other side even better than before.
Yes, definitely. Shoot, there was one more thing that I was going to ask you, but I'm having a moment. I see Joey saying that he loves that quote for sure. For you, ideally, is your business slowing down this year, or do you want to share your transaction projection?
I don't think it's slowing down. I mean, we have some refinance business, and there's refinance business that I'm probably not even capturing, just because I don't have the time. I think, I guess here's the part about me. I don't want to create a business where I'm working 16 hours a day. I'm not getting to bed until 2:00 in the morning. That's just not what I want for my life. I'm getting older and things are a little bit different. I need to take and make my health a priority, which obviously, Abby, that, a few years back, I did have some problems with my health. And, I think a lot of it stems from stress, and we really need to take care of ourselves, physically and mentally. So am I going to have 100 transactions this year? No, I will not. But rest assured, the ones that I do have, I will be taking the best care of them possible without stressing myself out to the point of total exhaustion, and really still trying to maintain some balance in my life.
Yeah. Ideally for you, because we talked about your own kind of personal goals, and I think professional goals always fit into personal goals. with what you can accomplish in both worlds together. So what's your ideal work week number for hours?
This year has been a little bit crazy. I'm probably honestly at about 50 to 55 hours a week right now, which is not ideal for me, but there's so many people to help. And it's not even just the refinances. I'm finding that the purchase business is very strong here. And I have to take care of those people because they're obviously on a timeline. You've got a ratified contract and the leads keep coming in. It's just, I feel bad that I can't reach all the refinances. I feel bad about that. But at the end of the day, I've got to take care of the purchase business because they are on a deadline. So yeah, it's tough. This year's pretty wild.
Well, yes, it is. That's an understatement. Oh, too funny. Well, keep your questions coming in, guys. Erica says you're a queen, Joanne. Westcott.
Oh, yay. I love her.
Yes. Did you guys meet at Success Camp?
We did.
Awesome. I love those connections that we have. Absolutely. All right, I'm going to do a quick rapid fire round if you're up for it.
Sure.
Okay, just 3 questions. First one is, if you could go back when you first got into this business, what advice would you give yourself?
Well, I think I would say don't focus on everybody. Just pick your hero groups that you feel most connected to, most passionate about, and just go deeper with those. You know, I thought when I started the program, I thought, oh my gosh, I have these like 5 or 6 groups. I have to go over here and do this, and I got to go to schools, and I have to go to hospitals, and I have to go to police precincts, and I have to go to fire stations. Oh my gosh, you'll drive yourself crazy. Seriously, just pick a few and go deep, because wearing too many hats is just not going to work. Just pare it down a little bit. You'll be more successful that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And clearly you are just focusing on your 3 because you just shared that you have more business than you can handle right now.
And I do. I mean, I have a lot of teachers, and I have teachers and nurses. I think those are my other 2 groups that are pretty strong, but definitely the 3 that I mentioned are probably my strongest.
Yeah, for sure. You already answered this, but maybe you have a different answer. So I'm just going to ask it anyways, but what's one of your all-time favorite books?
Well, I love The Secret. And I would say, you know, probably The Go-Giver. You know, I think, you know, it's in giving that we receive. So if you can kind of make that one of your main mantras in life, then you're doing pretty good. Yes.
Go-Giver and The Secret. Guys, these are going to make you like not only be better people, but do more and do better in your life overall in general. I love those.
I think that's what it's about. It's about being a well-rounded professional, but it's also about being a great person, you know, at the end of the day.
Hi, Emma.
Yeah, this is real talk for sure.
Oh, it's all good.
Real poodle in the background.
Happens. All right, and last but not least, what's your favorite room in your house?
What's my favorite room? Oh, wow. You know what? I love my deck because it's private. There's trees lining the backyard and kind of the side yards as well. And I enjoy being in nature. I think that's where I feel most connected, and I can actually breathe and relax if I leave my cell phone inside. As I get older, I think I just value peace and tranquility a lot more than I used to. And that's kind of what the outdoors provides for me. So I think I would have to say my deck.
I love that answer. It's a good one. And yes, leave your phone inside next time you're out, please. Even for like a 5-minute break during the day.
Right. It's therapeutic.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you're getting so much love on chat. I know you probably can't see it, but we've really had a great time together, Joanne. Thank you so much for I mean, you're always positive and you always give a great perspective, and you've got such a unique philosophy to approach not just business, but life with. So I appreciate you taking the time to share with us all. It's meant the world to us today, for sure.
You are very welcome. Thanks for having me. I love everybody.
Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you next week.
See ya.